to Fabulous Foods with Victoria Fabbo. I'm really excited today. We're going to be making some tacos. Who doesn't love a Taco Tuesday? So to start, we're going to make our side first. Come on over. So I have some water boiling here. Watch out for any steam. We're going to have couscous with onions and peppers. So couscous is nice and easy. You just have to have boiling water. So I have a cup of boiling water here, and I have a cup of couscous. Stir it around to make sure the couscous is completely covered with the water. Add a lid and let it sit. Part 1 done. Great. Okay, over here on the stove, I'm going to put my heat on a medium-low. I'm going to start with chickpea tacos today. So we have sesame oil. That's brand new. And I'm going to take off the lid right now. Woo! All right, drizzle some sesame seed oil here. You can use any oil that you do have. If sesame is an allergy that you need to be mindful of, then use olive oil, vegetable oil, whatever you'd like. So we're going to let that heat up. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how to cut some radishes because we're going to make some pickled radishes to go on top of our tacos. Okay, so with the radishes, you can cut them in half. You can dice them any way that you'd like them pickled in the drawer. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to thinly slice them. Okay. And then as you can see here, I have my radishes completed beforehand. So I pickled it with apple cider, water, and some sugar. Leave that to the side. So I've had the apple cider and I've had the water and sugar boiling. So when you have your radishes all cut up, put them in the bowl and add the hot liquid. So you'll have the radishes mixed with the water in the liquid. Let that sit for a bit and then go ahead and put it in the fridge. If you are going to use a mason jar, just make sure it's sterile before you put it in the fridge and before you use it. And you can keep it up to about a week, okay? Sesame oil is nice and hot. You can feel the heat coming off of the pan. So next I'm going to add some garlic. And you can hear that nice sizzle. It's great. So I have about 3 cloves of garlic, and I have about a quarter of an onion. And we're going to let that come together. Smells good. Okay, now while we let the onion and garlic cook, I have some water here, and I'm going to make tea today. So I'm going to start this and let this boil. So today we're going to do ginger tea. So I have fresh ginger here that I'm going to cut up. You can peel it too if you'd like. Kind of like garlic. Any more surface area available with ginger, the more flavors and aroma that will come out. Okay, so I brought my little tea diffuser. I'm going to go ahead and put the ginger inside. Okay. Woohoo! I love the smell of ginger. And you know, ginger is really great if you have any nausea or you want to settle your stomach. Or if you think you're going to try something spicy, maybe you want to prevent it a little bit with some ginger. So I'm going to put this right into the boiling water and let it steep. So we're going to let the ginger brew right now. We're going to check on our onions and garlic. Looks great. So I have some chickpeas here that I'm gonna add in. I use canned peas. What you wanna do whenever you're using canned beans, you wanna make sure you rinse them out to get any sodium out. You can do that by putting the beans right in, adding the water, let it settle for a bit, rinse it out, and keep doing that process at least 2 or 3 times to make sure you're getting any extra sodium out. Anything that's canned is brined, right? So it has salt in it. So we just want to make sure we get any extra out. Add the chickpeas in. And I did give them a little boil beforehand. Sometimes I feel like they cook a little bit faster when I boil them before, and then I'll add them again so they can saute. So I'm going to turn up the heat now to medium. Okay, so our chickpeas are cooking. I also have for seasoning, I have some fajita mix, which may be whatever you'd like. So I have paprika, I have chili powder in here, I have onion powder, garlic powder, and fajita mix. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that on. Okay, give that a stir. Oh, I'm so excited for tacos. If you get any off the pan, grab them, discard them. Okay. And again, we want to keep it as flush to the pan as we can so they can all cook evenly. Okay. I'm going to grab a lid and put that right on top. Okay, put the lid right on top. It's on medium heat. So I'm going to be cutting some peppers now that are going to go with our couscous. I have yellow and red peppers. Feel free to grab a green pepper as well. Any color pepper will do great. I'm going to cut them in strips first. Okay. And then I'm going to cut them some more. And since the couscous is so small and delicate, I'm going to cut the peppers up a little bit smaller. You can give them a rough chop if you'd like. Whenever I'm scraping with my knife, I try to use the back side, not the sharp side, because you don't want to dull the knife if you're scraping with the sharp side down. Next, I'm going to chop up some jalapenos to go with our chickpeas. Be mindful of the seeds and be mindful of your hands. Do not touch your face. Make sure your hands are washed right afterwards. The seeds can be the hottest part. So I'm going to take out the seeds, put them off to the side. I'm going to give them a finer chop now. What I also liked with the chickpeas is some tamarind. So I grabbed some sweet one at the store. There are the seeds in the middle, so just give it a rough chop. All right, with the jalapenos and tamarind, I'm gonna go ahead and put it with the chickpeas. Be careful of the steam. Ooh, yeah. That's coming together nicely. Okay, now we're gonna smash the chickpeas. Kind of like making a hash. So with chickpeas is a plant protein source, and that's what we're striving for, especially with 2023 coming around, trying to decrease the chances of high cholesterol. We're moving towards more plant-based, and again, it doesn't have to be every time, but something to try now and again. Okay. All right, and we're gonna let that cook a little bit more. Okay, next we're gonna make our peppers and onions to accompany our couscous. So I'm gonna add in some sesame seed oil. Turn the pan on to medium-low. So we have our ginger brewing, we have our chickpeas cooking, our couscous is ready to be fluffed shortly, and then we're gonna cook our peppers and onions to go with it. Okay. All right. Another trick you can do to see if oil's ready in the pan too is if it moves really quickly or if it moves really slowly. So the quicker it is, the hotter it is. Go ahead and add the onions and okay, you can hear that sizzling noise now. Give it a mix, and then we're just gonna let that cook. Okay. We're gonna go and head over and we're gonna cut up some beets. All right, so I'm just gonna cut up some of our beets that we have. So beets are a great source of fiber, vitamins, and they're just so pretty to look at. So how did I make these beets? They do not come this soft. So beets, I had them in foil. I added garlic, salt, oil. I rubbed that all together. I covered it back with foil. I popped it in the oven at 350, and I cooked it for about an hour and a half. With beets, I just let them go. To me, they always taste better the longer they're cooked. So that's why it was so nice and cut like butter. You can keep the skin on or keep the skin off. I did wash them beforehand. I like to keep the skin on, less food waste, and we are also have more fiber in our diet. So now that it's January and the 2023 year has come, some goals for this show that I'd like. I really would like to help continue adding fruits and vegetables to people's diets in fun ways. And I also like for different people to come and accompany me. Some chefs in the local community who really have great cooking skills and their food tastes so awesome, and I'd really like that to be showcased. So I'm going to dice this up. So with my plate, the USDA uses for the general population to use as a tracker. And what I mean by that is to make sure that you have had your fruit recommendations, so at least 2 fruits a day or 3 vegetables a day. And if you can't just do it all at dinner, but try to space it out throughout the day. So we have beets going on, we have pickled radishes, that's another vegetable. We have our peppers and onions that are with our, put that off to the side. We have our peppers and onions with our couscous. Couscous is a pasta, so it is a grain, but it is a great one to have. It can be. But if you do have celiac disease, it is not recommended because it is made of wheat. Cut the beets. And they just look so pretty. And if you wanted to make a beet salad, you could add olive oil to this as well. I'm not going to. I think it's great just by itself. We're going to go ahead and cut up some mango. I think I may have said this before, but I love mangoes. Whenever I go on vacation, just recently I just came back from Cape Verde, and we had mangoes every day, and it was wonderful, and it was like being a kid. And the mangoes aren't this big, and they're in Cape Verde, they're like this big, and then you just eat them whole, and the juice is like dripping down your face and your hands, and you're just like in heaven. So anytime there's a mango around, I'm there. All right, I'm just going to cut it into strips. And then what I like to do is grab a spoon. I like to grab a spoon and spoon it out. Okay. Okay. All right, so at least now we have a serving of fruit. Hold on. Add some more to it. Mango. Push this off to the side. All right, let's give our peppers a mix. couscous. All right, let's add the couscous right in and get off the stove. Okay, let's add our couscous. You can use a fork too. Break it up. Oh, you know what? I'm going to transfer this to a bowl. Grabbing a fork is a lot easier. Okay. Mix that all together. Add some lemon juice to this as well. Let's check on our chickpeas. All right. Okay. All right, it's looking great. All right, so let's toast up some tortillas. I'm gonna grab a pan and we'll start heating up our tortillas. Okay, I'm gonna take off our ginger water. You can add some honey to it as well to sweeten it up. I'm gonna make it cooler. I'm gonna let it sit, but it smells great. I'm going to turn on the pan to a low heat to heat up the tortillas. So corn tortillas, right? They're made with the masa. Sometimes I pronounce that incorrectly, so don't mind me. But it's really cool. So the corn is held in these big, huge hoppers, they're called, right? So they get mixed up in this machine that turns it, and beats it into like a masa. It looks like a thick clay. It's really cool to see. And this masa gets mixed, and it gets further into where it divides it into the chips or tortillas, whichever shape it wants to be in, cuts it, brings it out, and depending on if it's going to be fried right away, or sometimes it's steamed then baked, or it's steamed then fried. It's really cool to see the process of how corn tortillas are made. And it's really great, so if anybody who has celiac disease, they can have corn tortillas, and flour is not used with it. And that's the original way too, right? So we're gonna let that heat up. I just want them a little bit brown. I'm really excited about 2023. This past Christmas, I got to have all my sisters there, which was really meaningful to me because the last couple of years, I wasn't able to have all of them there together. So I'm really looking forward to all of the 2023 events to be together with my family again. Super stoked about that. And then coming 2024, my family, we have like about 5 weddings with all my different cousins and sisters. So that's exciting. Corn tortillas is, when it's made from hand, it's such a delicate, timely process that a lot of families do together, and it's really memorable. And with that said, I really enjoyed cooking because it reminds me of cooking with my parents. My parents used to have their own pizza restaurant in Melrose, Victoria's Pizza Restaurant, and my sisters and I, from the ages of 5 to 10, was when they had the restaurant. I was 5 to 10 years old, and just seeing my parents cook in mass quantities all the time was really great to see and experience. Even my younger sister Tina, at like 2 years old, she'd be chopping parsley. And it was always so cool to see her also show other people how to chop parsley at like such a young age. It probably just wasn't 2. She was probably a little bit older at that point, but she would get up on a stool and show people that she could cut. And it was just for games and for fun, right? So we always had a nice time, and always being around food and eating as much as we could, thankfully. So it was really a great experience. Okay, that's nice and toast. Heat this one up. Oh, that smells great. I love tortilla smell. My love for tacos. I love tacos because you can add anything and it doesn't even have to be what you thought it was gonna be. Like, so whatever's in the fridge, you can just empty out the fridge, heat it up, and put it together in a taco, and it's great. My brother-in-law, Stu, loves to make fun of me because I make everything into a taco or a sandwich, we like to say. So I could be eating spaghetti and I put bread around it and I just eat it. So same thing kind of goes with tacos. Today we're doing chickpeas, beets, radishes, couscous. So it's all a variety, but if you don't want to use meat, you have beans. Another protein that I like to add to tacos now is we used to add sour cream, right, for flavor for some tacos sometimes. And my sister Tina and I, we were making tacos, and I was like, hey, we're going to try plain yogurt. And we both kind of looked at each other like, oh my gosh, why do we have to do this? But I was like, it's really great protein. It's going to be fine. We're going to try it. We're not going to do sour cream because of the extra fat in it. And we dolloped it on, and we ate it, and we were pleasantly surprised, and we forgot we were actually eating plain yogurt. So that was really great. We were just eating tacos with sour cream in our head. It tastes very similar, and it's added protein, which is great. And it doesn't make you feel as bad later. And great thing about yogurt, it has probiotics, right? So probiotics are good for our gut health, our gut microbiota. So that's one benefit of it too. All right, I'm gonna heat this one up again, and then I think we're good to go. Okay, let's decorate our taco. The best part is you do not have to, doesn't matter what you do it or which way the line might start, right? So if you have all your toppings set out, grab what you want. So let's go ahead and add some, I have some spring mix. I'm gonna add some of that. And we want at least 2 ounces of protein. So again, if you have the whole yogurt and you can double some on that, that would count. So to me, this looks like maybe 1 ounce of protein. So definitely can go back for a little bit more. Great. Okay. I'm gonna add some beets on top. Then we have our pickled radishes. I don't know if you can hear it, but my stomach's grumbling. I'm really excited to be eating some tacos right now. And if you do have pickled vegetables, it does taste better normally the next day or a couple days afterwards where the product is able to marinate. I'm gonna add a little bit of jalapenos on top. So funny, every time I go out to a taco restaurant with my best friend Monsi, she can always get a whole side of jalapenos on and eat it. And I am slowly trying to build up to be as great as her in her jalapeno consumption. And spice is always good for digestion, right? And then on the side, we'll have our couscous. Oh, let's not forget cilantro. I love the smell of cilantro. I love the difference between parsley and cilantro smell too. You always know when you have grabbed the wrong herb. And then would it be tacos without some hot sauce? Grab your favorite hot sauce, drizzle some on. Okay. So we have some ginger tea, and I know that some people don't always love the taste of water, so I just like to make anything into a tea. You can drink it cold, you can add more cold water to it, ice. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable in order to get some more fluids in you, especially even though it is cold outside, the heat is on, the heat makes us dry, so we always want something to drink. And then you have it. We have mangoes, we have a fruit component today. We have our couscous, some grain, and some peppers with it, and onions, that's our vegetable. We have corn tortilla, that's our grain. We have chickpeas, which is our protein. We have beets and radishes on top, which is another vegetable component. And I really hope you guys enjoy this meal today with your friends and family. And I hope you really enjoyed 2023. I hope it's completely fabulous. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.